Hi, welcome back. In the previous session, every success story is also a story of great failures. Reading B from Unit 1 of Class 10 English Reader was done. And the link has been provided here under in the descriptions column. And now, the continuation passage will be judged. Dear students, take a look at your English readers. As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. Who was Walt Disney? He was an eminent animator, cartoonist, painter, director, and a producer. But what kind of hardships had he faced initially? And one among those has been illustrated here. One day, a minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. A minister at a church hired Walt Disney to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small mouse-infested shed near the church. Near the church there was a small house and where it was infested with a mouse. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. And that was the start of Mickey Mouse. So, Mickey Mouse cartoon was first drawn by Walt Disney. And he earned a lot of fame with his drawing, with his cartoon, Mickey Mouse. Successful people don't do great things. They only do small things in a great way. Wonderful quote. Once again, successful people don't do great things. In fact, successful people don't do great things. Then what do? They just do small things in a great way. One day, a partially deaf 4-year-old kid came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. "Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of the school." His miss might have written this letter. His mother read the note and answered. His mother, having gone furious over by the letter, wrote, "My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I will teach him myself." And that Tommy grew up to the great Thomas Edison. And the scientist was none other than Thomas Alva Edison, one of the all-time top scientists across the globe. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling and he was partially deaf. Just really odd to hear, but this is the truth. He just had only 3 months of formal schooling. And he was partially deaf. Henry Ford forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Henry Ford was the founder of Ford cars. So he forgot to put the reverse gear in the beginning. That was the setback of his in the beginning. Do you consider these people failures? They succeeded in spite of problems, not in the absence of them. Yes, they had to encounter several problems. Having crossed all those obstacles in their life's journeys, they finally reached their goals. But to the outside world, it appears as though they just got lucky. All success stories are stories of great failures. The only difference is that every time they fail, they bounce back. This is called failing forward rather than backward. You learn and move forward. Learn from your failure and keep moving. So, in spite of your failures, you have to keep moving forward. In 1914, Thomas Edison at age 67 lost his factory, which was worth a few $1 million, on fire. It had very little insurance. No longer a young man, Edison watched his lifetime effort to go up in smoke and said. So when he was at the age of 67, Thomas Alva Edison's factory was burned and he had to get a few millions of losses. A few millions means hundreds of crores nowadays. However, he hasn't gone to any state of lamentation. Instead, what he said, there is great value in disaster. All our mistakes are backed up. Thank God, we can start anew. What an optimist Thomas Alva Edison was. So, in spite of the great loss he had got, what he had felt, all his mistakes were burned to ashes. Thank God we can start anew. So, that's the great spirit everyone should acquire from Thomas Alva Edison. In spite of the disaster, 3 weeks later, he invented the phonograph. What an attitude! That's terrific. Within 3 weeks after that disaster in his life, he invented a new instrument called phonograph. He invented a new instrument called phonograph. Below are more examples of failures of successful people. Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb. As we all know, electric bulb was invented by Thomas Alva Edison. So, he had to get 10,000 times failure before inventing electric bulb. Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. Lee Iacocca was fired by Henry Ford too at the age of 54. Young Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world. Beethoven was one of the all-time best musicians on the world. However, in the early days of his musical career, he was criticized that he hadn't known anything about music. Setbacks are inevitable in life. A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility. In grief, you will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. We need to learn to become victors but not victims. Fear and doubt short-circuit the mind. So, dear students, what a wonderful message conveyed here. Setbacks are inevitable in our life. Setbacks are something like failures are inevitable in our life. We need to overcome these setbacks with great attitude. Ask yourself after every setback, what did I learn from this experience? Only then you will be able to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. The motivation to succeed comes from the burning desire to achieve a purpose. Napoleon Hill, a writer, wrote, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. So, if you want to achieve something, you can conceive it in your minds and then believe it. You will definitely achieve it. Here is a highly inspiring story for you, dear students. A young man asked Socrates the secret to success. Socrates was an ancient philosopher. So one day, a young man came to Socrates and asked what's meant by success. Socrates told the young man to meet him near the river the next morning. So he straight away didn't answer him. He asked the boy to meet him the next morning. Then what happened? They met. Socrates asked the young man to walk with him towards the river. So they met on the banks of the river. Socrates asked the boy to follow him to the river. When the water got up to their neck, Socrates took the boy by surprise and ducked him into the water. Oh my God! And when they entered neck deep into the river, Socrates all of a sudden ducked the boy into the water. Then what happened? The boy struggled to get out, but Socrates was strong and kept him there until the boy started turning blue. He just kept the boy's head hold on to the water. Then the boy started turning blue. Socrates pulled his head out of the water, and the first thing the young man did was to gasp and take a deep breath of air. As and when the head of the boy was pulled out of the water, the boy gasped immediately and he had a breath of air. Yes, he breathed. Socrates asked, "What did you want the most when you were there?" There means the water. The boy replied, "Air, air." The boy was still struggling to breathe. Socrates said, "That is the secret to success." Air? Air is the secret to success? When you want success as badly as you wanted the air, then you will get it. So that's the hidden secret. So, if you want a success, so then you can struggle as badly as you struggle to get the air into the water. A burning desire is the starting point of all accomplishment. Just like a small fire cannot give much heat, a weak desire cannot produce great results. What an interesting quote it is. Your desire must be directly proportional to your accomplishment. Unless you have a burning desire, you cannot get any sort of accomplishment, which means you cannot reach your goals. That's why every human being must have burning desire to reach his goals. So that's the message conveyed here. And this write-up has been taken from You Can Win, a personality development book written by the motivational trainer and a personality development trainer and author Shiv Khera. That's all about this reading passage. And now let us take a look at some comprehension questions and their answers. First one. Who inspired Walt Disney? A small mouse who inspired Walt Disney. Second one. In spite of the disaster. What is the disaster here? Thomas Edison lost his factory on fire. Third one. What are inevitable in life? Setbacks are inevitable in life. Why did Edison's mother write a letter to the teacher? Answer. Edison's mother wrote a letter to the teacher because the teacher had sent her a note complaining against Edison. Last one. What is the starting point of all accomplishments? A burning desire is the starting point of all accomplishments. And some more questions are for you. What was the age of Thomas Edison when his factory caught fire? He was 67 there. What was the most popular cartoon drawn by Walt Disney? Mickey Mouse. Who came to Socrates? A young man came to Socrates. What did the young man ask Socrates? The secret for success. Who was the world's best musician mentioned in the passage? Beethoven. How many times did Thomas Alva Edison fail before the invention of electric bulb? He failed 10,000 times. Dear students, this is all about the reading comprehension passage. You can practice more number of comprehension questions and their answers. In my next session, I will come up with another interesting topic. Until then, bye. Thank you.